Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/FBIA podcast. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For the listeners of the FBIA podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with the free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Find some of our favorites. Riding the Apocalypse by Eric Alexander. 1984 by George Orwell, The Beginner's Boston Dictionary by Marcus Albee, Plagueland by S.D. Sykes, No End Save Victory by David Kaiser. Books from all genres and walks of life right into your ears. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/FBIA podcast. Again, that's audibletrial.com/FBIA podcast, or go to FBIApodcast.com and click the link at the bottom of the page.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, welcome to Football is America with Ron and Kyle, hosted by me, Mike. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing well, Mike. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in. You over there, Ron?
I'm here. I'm all good.
How you doing, Ron?
It's been a long day.
Long day? What interviews, right?
Yes, so many interviews.
Who are the interviews with?
We had Colton from the Jags. Scott joined us from Gangrene Nation for the Jets, and he will be not on this show, but on next week's show. And then we had Mike and Justin join us from Hogs Haven, which is the Redskins page as well. And then we also had Levi Damien join us from Silver and Black Pride for the Raiders. So we had a lot of interview stuff go today. Each interview was a little bit...
And he wasn't, Colton from the Jaguars. It was Colton from Big Cat Country.
That is correct, and I'm an idiot
which
for saying
represents the Jaguars. Which
right.
Clarity.
I like how that's been your role every show, is to just try to pump up the other guys' websites, which I'm sure they appreciate.
Well, I mean, we get hits from them. They get some views from us. It all works out. And then it just doesn't work out so good if we're like, oh, yeah, he's from here. And then trust on our fans to find it because they don't even email us. Or if they do, then I don't know about it because Ron deletes them.
That's not...
Whatever happens.
That's not
I don't
true.
know what happens. Well, you might. I don't know. Whatever.
Of course, you'll be able to download those interviews separately, and we will not be including them in this show. We will talk about them in the show, but we will not be including them because it makes the show much too long, and it's just too much work for me, and I don't like doing that much work.
The interview was at least like 45 minutes. These guys knew what they were talking about, and so they talked about it. It's how an interview goes sometimes. Deal.
What about you, Mike? How are you?
I'm hanging in. Just this snow's killing me out here, but I know Kyle's laughing all the way from Alaska. Talking about snow.
Yeah, it's like summer here now. It's in the mid 30s.
Yeah, but my that sucks so bad. My car, I drive a '67 Beetle. It's a super lowrider, but even if the car were optimally running right now, I'd have to plow the entire street before I could even drive. But because I broke the front, I wasn't aware that you could just break your suspension, that your car would be on the ground. And all the snow is preventing me, because I have to get it up on a trailer, and all the snow has been preventing me for weeks from fixing my car. So I'm just kind of bumming rides from Ron and Ron's wife to the show and then to work and back. So
yeah, I went to your house today and I looked at your car and I said, that thing is frozen into the street. That thing is not moving ever. Like, not until all this is gone.
It did totally start. I had to go in there to get some tools today, though. It totally started, but it's running. It's just not driving. So that's silly. We got a lot to go over. You guys want to get into player cuts?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
There's a lot. I mean, it is that time, but dang.
You guys gonna want to try to make this like not hang out too much on each one. We got that mark to stay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah.
All right, let's breeze through this.
And I keep hearing there might be emails. So if we get to like the 30, 40 minute mark, and maybe
I might be able to bring out some emails. Yeah.
It's emailed. All right,
let's sprint through these.
Let's get on
cross country skills.
Go. Let's start with running back Steven Jackson being cut by the Falcons. His numbers here: he rushed for 1,250 yards, had 12 touchdowns, 53 catches for 339 yards, and a touchdown and a touchdown. That was all over 2 years with the team.
Well, I mean, the Falcons say he was far less effective than they expected, and it's like, yeah, really? Like, he is not young. This is pretty standard. Ron had only just I don't know, last week, or maybe it was last week I was listening to an older episode. But the point is, at some point he had said, this guy's got to go. Now, I don't know when that was, apparently.
I said it
but he said it.
multiple times. I mean, you can't, he was washed up when they got him. I mean, it's not a, I don't mean that to be terribly negative. It is obviously a negative term, but he had multiple knee surgeries. He was old. He had a lot of miles on him by the time he went to the Falcons in the first place. And I don't understand how when they brought him in, they were like, you know what? This guy could be the answer to our short yard game and our goal line game. Really? You thought that he was going to have any form of zip at all, like he'd had when he was in St. Louis? It was stupid. And they were stupid for bringing him in. I laughed when they did. And now I'm laughing that they said that he was less effective than expected. Really? He was? Okay. Well, congratulations. You now know what everybody else thought for 2 years.
Well, also newly cut, we got running back DeAngelo Williams. He announced that he's cut by the Carolina Panthers before the team even had a chance to. I guess he just wanted to beat him to, everyone's going to hear my side first. I don't know, that's the way I'm looking at it. But I guess he took it way more, or I guess it was way more personal than would normally be expected.
Yeah, he definitely, among other things, wasn't happy with how the team handled his mother's death. They had her participate in a lot of the October breast cancer awareness things. The only person from the team to even be at her funeral was Greg Hardy, and this is 11 days after his domestic violence arrest.
And the funeral was in May. It's not like it was in the middle of the season. The funeral was in May.
Well, I mean, but yeah, that's like training camp and
no, it's
rookie
not.
symposium.
No, it is right after the draft. So granted, I can understand why some staff members couldn't be there, but really other players who aren't doing anything in May, none of them are doing anything in May. Some of them might be working out to stay in shape, but really he's a guy that had been a
so
staple.
That's like their only true off time then, right?
Yeah, like basically right after the draft.
Maybe next time she'll choose a different time of the year to expire in.
Wow, dude.
Holy God.
What is wrong with you? Ugh.
Ron,
this is new information. Come on.
Man's mother. What is, I just don't.
Well, she's already dead. What am I going to do? Hurt her feelings? Look, not happening.
Reggie Bush. Moving on. My job as moderator and host is to just look that in the face and act like that's like I've. Jeez,
Ron, you like how we made it to two of our line items before getting completely just derailed?
Well done.
This is the gift I give to you.
Yeah. Reggie Bush, who's been battling injuries more than not in his career, has been cut by the Robotroid Lions.
It does sound good when you say it. Thank you.
Robotroid.
Yeah, he's been battling nagging ankle injuries all last season, and he's actually kind of been injured a lot of his career, and that's just because of the style of play he plays. He goes all out, and he plays a lot of the passing game, which is tough on a guy that size who is normally a running back. And now that he's decided he's going to try and run kind of in between the tackles more, he's just not built for it. It's not his game style. So good for him. He's now a free agent and will most likely go someplace else and be a rotational back and make a lot more money than he's supposed to.
That's good for him.
Because like I said, he's going to go someplace, be a rotational back, and make way more money than he should be given by some team that is desperate.
I don't know. There's a lot of free agents at running back. I would think that good for him would be, you're staying with the team and playing under the contract you believed was fair before you were hurt all the time. It's probably better than what he'll get now. But, I guess you said good for him, meaning you are clearly the same amount of a monster as I am.
This is a guy who is still going to make the millions of dollars he was guaranteed by the Lions, and now he's going to go someplace else and get paid to do a lot less. So good for him.
If I have a nagging ankle injury, I can't even motivate myself to make dinner. I'm living off, I'm not even talking a dinner. I can't motivate myself to use the microwave. Like having to get on the computer and order Papa John's and then get up and then go to the door with a nagging ankle injury. I'm glad I talk about football instead of playing football. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess for the money he's making, I could do it, but I'd still complain the whole way.
Well, that's what most of them do anyway. So.
Can I show up to the game in my robe unshaven? I'm rolling up. The Raiders are going to release their safety Tyvon Branch after 5 years of loyal service.
Yeah, and this is a guy that we actually, when we talked to Levi earlier today, we brought it up, and it was weird because he had 100 tackles in each of his first 3 seasons. The injuries kind of piled up in the last 2 years, so it was more of a, are you going to pay this guy $5.5 million against your cap to not know whether or not he's going to be actually able to play? It just seems like he ended up being a cap casualty versus his injuries, or compiled by his injuries, however you want to play it. But they have a good backup there to fill the void. So,
and I would think that it would also play a part that not just the cap factor, but you don't want to have to having a guy healthy through training camp and walkthroughs and all that just to not be there for the season, because now your number 1 is out. Your number 2 didn't get those reps. So there's going to be some catching up to do. It makes the actual roster spot valuable.
And they kept Old Man Winter of Charles Woodson anyway, so they'll be fine. He defies all logic when it comes to age. So
just one of those like crazy like Keith Richards guys that no matter what happens, he just gets older, but not he's just still doing his job.
Yes, he is the Black Keith Richards of football. That is correct, Mike. Doing coke, hookers,
drinking beers. The Colts have cut their defensive lineman Ricky Jean-Francois, as well as he's headed the Redskin on a 3-year, $11.25 million deal with $4 million guaranteed.
It's a good pickup by the Redskins, definitely. Talking to guys from Hogs Haven today, they seem to agree. He's not a bad player, but he's not great. He's a pretty good kind of guy. Not going to be an all-pro or probably even a Pro Bowler. Cutting him gives the Colts about $5 more million in cap to work around. And the Redskins didn't pay a king's ransom, so for them, that's a great deal. Colts, given their more recent history of signing Ravens defenders, I'm going to guess that they're going to be cutting Ricky Jean-Francois to try and compete to sign Fernell McPhee.
Right, and the Ravens have already confirmed they're not going to re-sign him. He's a non-starter who's due a big-time payday, and they're just not going to be able to afford the cap after recklessly giving Joe Flacco a bunch of money he doesn't deserve. So,
yeah, it's a bad thing when the team is saying, no, we're going to wish him well and encourage him to get his money and not even make an attempt, because that's how bad the Ravens cap situation is right now. It is a question for the Colts about this guy, because he's got a year with 6, he's got a year with 1.5, he's got a year, I think, with 2, and this last year was 7.5. So are you getting the 6-7 sack guy or the 1-2 sack guy? Doesn't matter. He's going to get paid like $10 million a year, some people are saying.
The way you described the team dealing with him, like you sounded like it was like a really, like when you have a really mature breakup with your girlfriend, like, oh, I wish you well, and good luck in all you do. I'm going to root for you, but I'm not going to go out and introduce you to anybody. I'm not giving you my friends' phone numbers. Sounds,
that's actually a pretty good comparison, really.
Yeah. It sounds like they want to take care of him wish him well, as opposed to actually helping him, Like, oh, I'm going to hope you do well, but that doesn't actually, hope in one ear and ish in the other and see which one fills up first, right? Whatever. Darnell Lockett. I hate the both of you. Did you do that thing where I'm doing a thing and then I'm just talking and you just shut? All right. Darnell Lockett.
Darnell Dockett, you mean?
Yeah, you didn't give us a lot of option there. You went to a place where it's just like, all right.
Darnell Dockett is now.
Please continue.
Darnell Dockett is looking for a new home as the Cardinals say goodbye to the 11-year veteran defensive lineman after 3 Pro Bowls, 459 tackles, 40.5 sacks, 7 forced fumbles, and 4 interceptions.
Yeah, he saves the Cards over $6 million in cap space. It's kind of sad they couldn't figure out some way to get the pay cut or the restructuring deal done like they did with Larry Fitzgerald. But I mean, for a guy that has been with this franchise for that long, you would think that he would want to be like, all right, well, this is where I'm going to end my career since I started here and have been here for the better part of a decade. It's a bummer. He was hurt last year, torn ACL, and he's going to have to come back from that. And he's already stated that he is going to be the comeback player of the year, that it doesn't matter what jersey he's wearing, he's going to be it. And I mean, I wish the best for him. I really like him as a player. He's a good guy, not a dirty.
Proof positive the elections are rigged. Don't bother casting your vote. We already know who's going to win.
The Illuminati.
What?
Finally, someone who sees the light.
Which election rigging are we talking about here?
Well, not the 1790 one, that's for sure.
No, the voting thing for the election of the guy who wins the comeback player of the year. He already knows.
Oh God, Michael, just take us into the next one.
I've got some read material for you guys later. You're gonna love it. I don't want people to actually listening think that I'm like some Illuminati conspiracist. Like I hate it when people like take their jokes back, and that's when I gotta take back. I don't want listeners to be like, who's this banjo playing, don't know anything about football jerk, talk about the Illuminati, where'd you find him? The Redskins actually did some trimming on their own defensive line by letting go of Barry Cofield. Yeah,
they also let go of Stephen Bowen, which is more breaking news today, but it's not really surprising. They had signed Ricky Jean-Francois, and he is younger than Cofield, and he costs about the same amount of money. And in the long run, this saves the team about $4.7 million this year, and they got a younger player for the same amount of money for a longer deal and a better upfront cost. So it in the end, it's going to save the team a total of around $12 million. So it's a good deal for them.
Jesus, nothing. Kyle, you usually have something.
Well, no, you're quick. Jesus, I'm like, okay, that's a big reaction to it, but all right. So I wanted to let that play out.
I'm here for filler for stuff like that.
All right, well, let's keep going. I want to answer the emails because people are always such terrible dicks.
The Ravens followed suit as well, cutting their defensive line by letting go of their defensive tackle, Chris Canty.
From now on, let's refer to him only as John Candy.
No,
John
we're
Candy.
not. Why? Why would we do that?
Because that makes us go to the next one.
Okay.
Colts decided to keep Matt Hasselbeck, though, signing him to a 1-year, $3 million contract.
Once again, Colts end up with the two best quarterbacks in the AFC South. At least probably. I don't know. Hasselbeck's still got something left. And so it's worth it to have him around. He's not going to be a starter, but he can take a game or two in a pinch, step in when too far ahead or behind for it to make a difference. And this is the last year Andrew Luck might need a mentor or someone to act as a sounding board before he's really comfortable as being a leader. And Hasselbeck's been great for that.
So why is it that Matt Hasselbeck being 39 years old doesn't matter, but when Peyton Manning was 36, they were like, no, thank you.
Because he sits when he pees.
Boom! And you are dunked upon.
All right.
Well, I'm going to say because Matt Hasselbeck being 39 now, his job is to sit and tell Andrew Luck it's okay when Luck throws a pick, whereas Peyton Manning was all broken neck and all that. And, nobody knew if he was even going to be able to walk again or if he was going to Christopher Reeve it all over the place. And so,
oh, wow, dude. Jeez.
That
is a
something.
dead man. Like, it's too soon.
Why is it too soon?
Well,
Why? Really?
Well, hang on. That's hilarious because to Christopher Reeve it all over the place for a guy that's literally can't move, but he's not moving.
He can't move because he's
effing
effing dead, Spencer. Jeez. His body is decaying somewhere. That's why he can't move.
Yeah, but the way that Ron described it was he's Christopher Reeving all over the place.
That's not what I said. That's what Kyle said.
That's what I said, Kyle.
No, you didn't. God, just take us to the next one. Damn it.
Don't you blame me friggin' out.
Kyle died.
Kyle's dying.
Kyle is dead. We have killed him.
I
Yeah,
guess
maybe.
I guess the guy's going to Kyle Frank all over the place.
Ron, just so you know, I'm very proud of what I've done.
We're really cooking right now, aren't we, guys?
With methamphetamines, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The Rams have decided to part ways with Kendall Langford. It appears he is surplus, and his $6 million cap hit was too much to keep him around.
Good productive player. Aaron Donald was brought in, defensive rookie of the year. Just couldn't justify keeping him around. They have too much at that position, and he'll go out and he'll get paid to go play somewhere else. He'll make his good money.
The Eagles let Todd Harriman fly away as they cut the guard after finishing 2 of the last 3 seasons on IR.
Yeah, he's a Eagles offensive lineman, so of course there's a Colts connection, because why wouldn't there be?
The Packers released AJ Hawk, and what can only be classified as a stunning move.
Well, he's the reason I made it. The reason I wanted to classify it as a stunning move, and most Packer fans won't, and some analysts won't, was that he's the all-time franchise leader in tackles, which means he has the most tackles for the Green Bay Packers ever in the history of ever. And I get that the cut saves in $3.5 million in cap space. And although it doesn't seem like it, I guess that's where it makes sense because they're trying to make room to re-sign Randall Cobb. He took 5 years to get good, and he really didn't become a good middle linebacker until Clay Matthews got there and was successful. And I think with Clay Matthews' play at middle linebacker, kind of in relief of Brad Jones, is kind of looking to take over that spot, I think, a little bit more. And they just don't need him now.
A lot of people will be really impressed with the stats, but he's kind of old. He's kind of slow. And so it doesn't matter if he got more sack or more tackles for the team than Dick Butkus or whatever.
Before I move on to the next.
Really? That's where you're going to go, Kyle?
Let him go. That's where
What do you mean?
You went with Dick Butkus. You went Dick Butkus on a Packers player.
Yeah.
And?
Are you serious? I thought he said Dick Butkus.
That's what he said.
That's the guy's name.
Oh, are you serious?
God damn it, Michael.
Oh, I'm so happy. Dude,
yeah, he was a Packers great.
Oh, God, I'm so happy.
No, he
wasn't.
What
was he?
I hate you both. I hate you both.
This is the most fun I've ever had while sucking at something.
Ron, I know he was a Bears great. I really just wanted you to be like, he wasn't a player for the Packers. He was a player for the Bears. And then I go, so he's got more tackles for the Packers than Dick Butkus then, doesn't he? But you messed that up.
You know who actually was formerly a Packer?
Who's that?
Their inside linebacker, Brad Jones. He was also recently cut.
Yeah, he'll go someplace else. I hope he goes to the Colts.
Do you all need to sing a song and relax?
Mike, I think you could just jam all through the rest of these and Ron would be just fine.
All right, commence jamming. The Giants have released Matthias Kiwanuka as a cap-saving move that will net them an extra $4.8 million against this year's cap.
Scheduled to make $7.25 million. One of the greats of the Giants over the last few Super Bowls and stuff. He was one of the last few people left over from the whole beating the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl, and constantly switch between linebacker and defensive end. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes and how he plays.
And Anthony Fasano, look, I'm just gonna say this right away. With the guy's last name is Fasano and his first name is Anthony, his name is Tony. So for the rest of my time saying this guy's name is Tony Fasano, that's who we're talking about, all right? Tony Fasano is reportedly being released by the Chiefs in a move that's most likely attempted to make room for pass rusher Justin Houston.
Houston?
No, it's the
How
name.
do you nail Fasano and then
Listen to me.
Houston?
Listen to me. Houston is pronounced Houston.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We're gonna arm wrestle about it later. Fine, Justin Houston. Is who they make the room for. They're letting Tony. Let's go.
All right. Well, nothing needs said.
All right. Well, in that case, the wide receivers Brian Hartline and Brandon Gibson were both cut by the Dolphins this week, as well as marking an end to a long career for Hartline and the search for Gibson's third home in 4 years.
Good for them.
Wide receiver Harry Douglas was also released by the Falcons in a more head-scratching move.
Yeah, this one was actually
Was it head
head-scratching.
scratching or were they scratching their Harry Douglas?
No.
Yeah. You can do puns. I can do puns.
See, the funny thing is that like none of us stopped and were like, "Oh my god, dude, what did you just do?"
Yeah, that's because I make stupid jokes all the time. When you do it, we got to make sure that reality is still bolted down.
That's nice. Did you want to talk about this guy?
No, let's go ahead.
You want to talk about safety Ryan Clark is retired as a Steeler. He's the first player to ever get flagged for hitting a receiver too hard.
Yes, he was. He was the first one. He was the first one they ever flagged for the defenseless receiver.
First guy to ever actually hit the receiver too hard and get slapped on the wrist for it. Like that's pretty cool. I'd brag about that.
Fair enough.
The Chargers linebacker Jarrett Johnson retires after 12 years. He's the only linebacker in NFL history to play a full 16-game seasons over 9 consecutive years. Played in 148 games, accumulating in 506 tackles.
Also known as 184 when you don't have dyslexia.
Did I say 48?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I haven't. Yeah. Yeah. What's up? That happened. Sorry about that. I'm gonna do that. No, really. I haven't. No, I haven't. I haven't had a dyslexia like reading issue since I was like 17. Like that's crazy.
Maybe you've had them all the time and nobody's corrected you.
I appreciate your friendship. Wow. Down, let me look like a jerk. I'm so glad you caught that, and because seriously, like I'm blown away by my own fact that happened.
Like you just learned a whole crap ton about yourself. Like, why didn't anybody say I was all this whole time? And your parents will just be like, "Well, we didn't want to make you feel like an idiot."
Have you ever like left the restaurant and then 2 hours later you find barbecue sauce on your chin?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? I think that just happened.
I don't know if I want to know where this is going.
He played in 184 games, accumulating in 506 tackles. Did I say 84?
Yes.
What's so effing funny?
No, you just like whatever, we're doing it. Screw it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
I'm writing it, and we'll do it live. He played in 184 games, accumulating in 506 tackles, 25 and a half sacks, and 11 forced fumbles. His final season, he only missed 1 game because of the birth of his daughters.
Well, then that was 1 game too many. Congratulations, you ruined your own streak, you jackass. You deserve to retire.
Well, but he's voluntarily retiring, isn't he? I mean,
and that matters how.
Well, I guess he's just like, you're making it seem like, missed 1 game and now the team is done with you or something. And I'm like, I don't know. You can retire whenever you want.
You don't have a retort, Ron?
No, I'm just waiting for you to move on. I really don't give a shit.
We hit that point a while back today.
Yeah, we need to get you liquored up before every show. This is working out well. We got other releases that merit an honorable mention. Defensive end Robert Geithers for the Bengals. Geithers.
From now on, I want you to say everybody's name like it's spelled. Just no matter who it is.
Is it Geithers?
Yes.
Nope, it's Geithers. Y'all are screwing it up. Oh, man. Defensive end Robert Geithers for the Bengals. Wide receivers Greg Little for the Bengals. Guard Charlie Johnson for the Vikings. Tackle Michael Roos retired for the Titans. Wide receiver Jacoby Jones for the Ravens. Running back Peyton Hillis for the Giants, a.k.a. Special Agent Hillis. Ooh. The offensive lineman Justin Blaylock.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it. Yay.
This is exactly what it's like with me trying to teach my kid how to read. Because these names, I mean, like, not that you're not doing a good job, because you are, but you look at this and you're like, God, why can't you all be Smith, son of a bitch?
Yeah, it's true. It's like all I think of is that Key and Peele, where they're like, like Bismo Funyuns, like stuff like that.
That sounds
Javarius Jamar, Lavarius Lamar. Yeah.
Quackadilly Blip.
Bismo Funyuns sounds like he's like a mob hitman. Like, man, Bismo Funyuns, man. See, time to introduce you to Bismo Funyuns.
Oh, all right.
Quarterback Josh McCown has a shiny new 3-year, $15 million deal after the very strange market for him closed with the Browns beating out the Bills for the honor of getting a 35-year-old pro washout that only has 5 good games in his career.
Nice. And does anybody else?
Ron wrote that, by the way. Like we keep that in mind.
Does anybody else notice that this guy is 5 years older than his quarterback's coach?
Okay.
No, I didn't notice. I don't know if you want to answer. I did not notice.
Okay. Well, Brian Hoyer's gone now. It's official because he was. Why would they have McCown if they're going to keep Hoyer?
So now your options are this and Johnny the Mouse Manziel. Great job, Browns. Continues to amaze me at how no matter the owner, GM, or head coach, you have the incredible ability to get personnel wrong at every level in glorious fashion. Ron, I love when you write stuff for me.
You're welcome.
Johnny the Mouse Manziel. See?
It so doesn't sound like me, so I just started reading it like we were back in first grade. I do like your next one, ad-libbing slightly. You have to assume at this point that the Cleveland Browns are owned in some way, shape, or form by a local liquor cartel with the intent of keeping the team as terrible as possible to keep the people of Cleveland inebriated.
What if it was the Illuminati?
Stop it. Why? Why would you go there? God.
What a brilliant strategy. We're going to go ahead and infiltrate Cleveland. Your pig Zion government will never see it coming.
The Cardinals said, "Are you doing okay, Ron?" Need me to bring another beverage?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. The Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians and general manager Steve Keim both get shiny new 4-year deals of their own. Details in terms of the contract have not yet been released.
Yeah, they both earned it. No surprise that they re-signed the coach who was winner of 2 Coach of the Year awards in the last 3 years. And technically right now, I guess they ranked coach and general manager tandems, and they were number 1. So good for them.
I think this is particularly interesting. The Inglewood, California had voted and approved the $2 billion stadium for the Rams, solidifying their move back to L.A.
Yeah, just to put that in perspective, Jerry Jones, who is a bajillion-de-fulfillion-de-air, his Cowboys stadium cost $1.3 billion. So that's amazing to me.
Damn.
And also came out that Inglewood wasn't really allowed to vote on it. I don't care, because from what I remember of Inglewood, you lock your doors when you go through there. And the other thing that I found great was Roger Goodell came out and said some nonsense about, oh, we go to Inglewood or wherever and there might be terrorist threats. No, Roger Goodell, no.
It's not terrorists.
It's like, you don't even know what's going on with your frickin' secretary, man. I am not about to have you tell me jack diddly squat about terrorism, okay? You can't even investigate whether or not dude punched his wife when you see half the video. And you're like, I don't need video part 1. I'll just watch part 2. You're the psychopath that goes to the third of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies and is like, hey, what's happening? I didn't see the first 2. How does he get to tell us jack squat about terrorism? That is the NFL's lazy retort of, we don't want you to move without our approval. Like, I don't know, something about 9/11? Mass paranoia. And this is why a massive evil wizard will kill us all.
Do me a favor and spend one night in Inglewood and then try to make the case that that's going to be like, oh, this is where the terrorists are going to, no, man. We got folks that'll take care of a terrorism squad, and they're not exactly wearing uniforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you watch the Bad Neighborhoods from, like, Training Day and stuff like that, and tell me you think Al-Qaeda's going to be fine setting up shop there. No, you're going to be around for 5 minutes, and you're going to end up stabbed, like, 9 times. Don't worry about it, man. We got this, Roger Goodell. You just go ahead and stay in Connecticut on Robert Kraft's pleasure yacht or whatever you do.
I don't need a man that can't handle his own balls to tell me where the terrorists are coming next.
Yeah.
Why can't he handle his own? Oh, I get it. It took me a second. That is sad. That is, damn it. I was actually pretty clever.
Welcome to the show, Kyle.
And I walked into it, and it was...
Marinate in your shame for a minute.
You ever come downstairs and there's a party going on that you didn't know about that your wife threw, and you're in like just your underpants and everybody stares at you and you realize, well, they already saw me. So you come all the way down the stairs, get your cup of water, and then go back up the stairs.
It's like when George Costanza had to take off his shirt to poop, but then got distracted by the 3D picture in the bathroom.
I'm going to say yes, but
you don't watch Seinfeld?
I don't watch all of them.
There seems to be some insane confusion on a Dez Bryant video of him punching someone in a Walmart parking lot. There's all kinds of speculation, though. No real evidence backing anything up. All that's really up is just one badly reported TMZ article. So I guess as a show, we're just going to leave this one alone until we actually can find out what's going on. We don't want to feed into any hype before there's anything to be hyped about.
True enough, but I say we preemptively agree with Dez Bryant based on the fact that people in Walmart parking lots are often terrible humans. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one and say, even if he did punch somebody, maybe they deserved it. Maybe they were on angel dust and Dez was just defending himself.
Yeah, like punching somebody in general is unacceptable. But there comes...
Yeah,
like,
if he was at Nordstrom's, it'd be like, oh, Dez, dude, no, you can't. Even Radio Shack, you're like, well, they might be, trying to buy meth or, something like that. You never know with those wily guys there. Like with their transistors, but
Radio Shack no longer exists, just so everybody knows.
I'm pretty sure I saw one up here.
They're selling the name right now.
I just went to a Radio Shack today because I was just doing laundry next to a Radio Shack. I was like, oh, I'm going to go buy everything in there. And I went in and I was like, the lady's like, are you looking for anything particular? I says, well, no, I understand you got everything marked down. They're like, not us. It's like, what? Like, you're not shutting down? She goes, no, we're not shutting down. So I just got to walk around and feel like an idiot. Like I thought I was going to get some bargains. So I was just like, oh, I'll just walk around and look at things and then leave awkwardly.
If Dez Bryant did punch his mom or whatever the thing is in a Walmart parking lot, just let him have it. It's fine.
What? No.
No, it's like, what, 4 years ago? That is forever ago. Okay? People, are we still mad about the name Redskins? No, because Ray Rife hit his wife, and so we got new things to be mad about. And so 4 years ago, it's fine. Statute of limitations, nobody cares. In fact, I think he needs to hit more people.
Oh, my God. So what I found interesting about the whole thing was that the Cowboys, they are saying, we're going to hold off until we find out exactly what's going on. Nobody really still knows what's going on. There isn't any physical evidence. That nobody's seen the video yet. People are saying they've seen the video. No one's sharing the video. And Dez Bryant's basically like, I think they're doing this so that they can get me at a cheaper price.
I got it. Peyton Hillis, CIA man, is now breaking his cover because he finally got that video. What's that? Taking down Dez Bryant, or really Maundi Kawa, dictator in Africa. Yeah, I got it. We have this mystery wrapped up. On to the next, Scooby-Doo.
That is one of the most racist things you've ever said on this show, just so you know.
I just threw sounds out. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, Peyton Hillis, the CIA. And
Kyle, no. Just go on.
Just go on. I don't know. I thought it made sense. In a very no-sense-making kind of way.
Let's just bleep just leave weird little words in. Like, don't delete it because it's interesting.
I'm play the Muppet song in that spot. Jesus.
Do 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 do. Mana. The Rams quarterback Sam Bradford says he will not take a pay cut. Does not want to be traded. Says that if they don't want him, they're gonna have to cut him.
The guy is being kind of a douchebag about it. I mean, you have produced almost nothing. You've had maybe flashes, and I mean very minute flashes of greatness at some point, but you spent almost your entire career on IR. You're useless. He's useless at this point. He's a useless QB at this point.
Yeah, I don't understand how the hell he has the balls to make demands. I didn't think the Always Injured Hotel did that brisk a business, for one. And when you keep in mind that Mark Sanchez has more on his resume than this guy, it's kind of a sad thing. Like, when you really look at it, who's done more in their career? Mark Sanchez or Sam Bradford? It's like, well, we got to give the nod to Mark Sanchez. And then Sam Bradford's head explodes.
We can only hope.
It's just fact. Well, yeah, maybe.
Let's move into some more news. We've got Adrian Peterson just having the best week ever in the news. First, the story of the agent general manager getting into a heated argument, and now all the court ruling. Ron, fill me in. What the hell's actually going on here?
Well, I guess this is events as I saw them unfold, or I saw the reports unfold, which was that Monday, his dad reported that AP is not excluding returning to the Vikings. That report was quickly pulled back, and ESPN completely deleted it, and then a new blip came out, and all of a sudden, now there's an argument on Tuesday between his agent and the staff of the Vikings, and apparently so bad that players and other coaches had to get into the middle of it and separate the two people. And then Thursday, the court ruled in favor of the NFLPA's lawsuit over the Adrian Peterson suspension, and reports immediately started coming through that he was going to be reinstated immediately, and those were all quickly squashed after a report by the NFL that the NFL would appeal the ruling based on the grounds that the judge overstepped. Quickly, he was placed back on the commissioner's exemption list, and it just seems like it's either one, that they really have it out for this guy, or two, like the rules are so broken that stuff just, the way that things are supposed to make sense just can't.
I'm still a little confused as to what the hell the whole point is. Like, is he going to play? Is he not? And ultimately, like, hey, NFL, are you going to let him start week 1? Yes. Okay. Then cut the crap so we can have something good happen. And if you're not, just basically tell him, guess what? You're not starting week 1. Why? Because we hate you. And then it's fine.
Well, the former Packers, now Vikings tight end, Brandon Bostic, reported that he received death threats after the onside kick debacle in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, because he was a total douche about it. Starting out, it's not my job. Not my job to catch the ball. Then don't catch the ball. You got Jordy Nelson right behind you. You know what you could do? Not jump for it. That's an option.
No, it's a heat of the moment thing, and I understand that you have to be really careful about like what happened in this moment during the game.
But then when people are like, "Dude, you cost us a game," don't act like a whiny prat about it and be like, "It's not my fault" and all that. Just be like, "Guys, I'm very sorry. That was just come out and be like, heat of the moment. My body went into panic mode, and I did something I wasn't supposed to, and I'm sorry." Then you can at least be like, well, that's reasonable. That happens. But to act like it's everybody else's fault, that's the kind of thing that has everybody throwing their cheese at you until you are dying of lactose intolerance.
Former quarterback and now college football analyst Brady Quinn's reporting he's interested in making a comeback.
He is reportedly training alongside Jamarcus Russell.
Wow, is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
just
I was like,
stuff up here.
when I saw that this was in here, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, I didn't read that.
We're definitely not the Just Effects sports show.
Well, I mean, I reported it, but you have to keep in mind I have zero journalistic integrity. I can also report they're training on Olympus Mons on Mars because they feel that the offset in gravity will help them. I can report it. That doesn't mean anybody has to believe it. The Onion, We're
kind of the Onion of the football news, aren't we?
No, because we don't make up fake news. We just make fun of the real news.
I guess that's true. Oh no, we're having fun though. The veteran combine attendee news is slowly trickling. Both Vince Young and Michael Sam being invited.
And I wanted to give Kyle props on this one because Kyle said a couple of shows back that he hoped that Michael Sam would at least get a shot at the veteran combine, which I found odd when he said that because he normally just makes fun of Michael Sam. And so the praise that he got at that moment was something that stuck in my mind. So good call, Kyle. You said it would happen, and it did.
Well, because I don't have a problem with Michael Sam, the football player. I have a problem with Michael Sam, the princess who needs all the attention.
Wow.
And by the way, in this case, princess has nothing to do with his sexual orientation, except it way does, because that's why he gets attention. It's like, just be a guy. If you're just a football guy, be like, oh, okay, you're on the team, and then you got to be anxious maybe about, can you give him a good game slap on the butt? Or is that like, is he going to be offended? Like, dude, don't do that. That's our thing. You can't do that. And you're like, but we did it. And then he's like, oh man, that's terrible.
That's
and then you get
thing.
a harassment lawsuit.
That just went way too far.
Yeah, what we had written in here in the notes, it says, so on that same note, but now it's totally not the same note, but on the related note to us calling stuff, the NFL said they're possibly looking at changing the rookie combine to test for skills that are actually more in tune with what happens in the games, which is exactly what we were talking about. Like, oh, we want to know how you play football. Let's actually have them play football.
That's what I call the FBI podcast bump.
Yeah, and all royalties, by the way, for them using our idea can be made out to FBIA Podcast. All right, that's who the check goes to, and if not, just put the cash in a paper sack and leave it behind the laundromat. I'll come pick it up later.
Kyle takes payments and photographs of butts.
I'm pretty sure that I don't, because I don't think the bank's going to accept those. But like if they're like food stamps attached, I guess I'll give it a shot. I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to live a new life.
NFL players joining together with other celebrities for USO. You got the Colts quarterback Andrew Luck, the tight end Dwayne Allen, Steelers guard David DeCastro, and Colts coach Chuck Pagano. And
I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to make this one the last one because, of course, we have a lot of military listeners who listen to this one and be like, what happened to these guys this week? These guys are a special kind of nuts. But
really.
This is kind of just a shout out to those guys. Thanks for all you guys do out there, and wanted to let you know that there are people coming your way, to include a bunch of other celebrities that don't matter, like American Idol stars and, like Tom
there's
Hanks
some of them on there
like
too, but
Hey, hang on a minute, Kyle. I hate interrupting you, but Ron just disrespected Tom Hanks in my presence, and I'm gonna need you to take that back.
I will not.
You got beef with Tom Hanks?
I don't know, dude. Tom Hanks is actually pretty solid. He's self-aware.
Really?
But he still does
After
cool
all
guy
the terrible
stuff.
things you say, Kyle, you can't just back me up on hating Tom Hanks once. Really?
I don't have beef with Tom Hanks. I mean, like Sleepless in Seattle, not my scene, but he never said that it was. And, and then you give it a shot and you're like, oh, heartwarming, And so that's why I think he's probably a good person or something.
Ron, you don't like Tom Hanks?
Oh my God. I love Tom Hanks. It's fine. I just wanted to say something
All right,
horrible, okay?
That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Sweet Jesus in a bucket.
How sweet.
Oh, it's covered in sugar.
Just to address.
All right. Well, I will say, hey, if you're out there, especially in Europe, check out the USO webpage. See if you can find out anything about these guys. More often than not, your unit will give you time off to go see these things. So if you are a fan, go check it out. Don't worry about all the non-football players, because I went to one of these USO deals, saw Peyton Manning, a few other Colts people. Vincent Jackson was there. Kurt Schilling was there. I cowered it out from telling him that I thought his video game was cool, because I did think it was cool, but it did, get called the worst investment in the history of Vermont by their governor. So, I mean, there's some reading there that Ron has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And then I have a news item to bring up.
Oh, yay. Kyle ad-libbing. This never happens.
No, it doesn't. But okay. Are you guys tracking the NBA at all?
Well, I mean,
not in the slightest.
No, just say no,
okay,
Ron.
fine.
Just say no. Because you don't know what I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, the NBA has announced that what they are going to start doing is releasing to the general public their ratings of each and every referee after each and every game, calling it a contribution to the transparency of their league. And I think this is very impressive. The NBA is doing this to make sure that, somebody's going to go through and look at each and every game and notice whether or not the NBA is aware of what calls are being missed, doing a comparison. And when you can see how the NBA is judging their referees and whether or not that leads to success, well, that sounds like a great thing that the NFL needs to start doing now, doesn't it?
Seriously.
I'm down. Straight up down. And then when we're done, the people that are the worst, we throw them in a volcano.
I say that does it have to be a volcano? Why can't they battle over a volcano like the two worst crews and, the last however many guys standing, like, okay, bam, you survive. You're living on for next year.
I'm down. Let's do it. We can make a whole show out of this. Like, I don't know why networks are not calling us. You don't know why? We could solve so many ratings problems.
Okay. Granted, my Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel idea, solid gold. Solid.
Your idea is solid gold, but mine isn't. That makes sense. Okay.
Well, I'm saying I know it is. I don't know about yours. That Hole in the Wall show didn't do that good.
Wow.
What you're describing is a terrible Japanese game show where people get murdered at the end, but somehow I'm the dick for not saying it's solid gold. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think that being charred alive in horrible hot heat as your family looks on weeping salty tears of sorrow at knowing that daddy never comes home isn't good television.
Didn't you just use Christopher Reeve as a verb?
I might have.
I don't think. Just want to be sure I'm listening to the same thing.
All right, let's wrap up, Mike.
Yeah, let's.
I want some emails. Let's do some emails.
No, we don't have time, Kyle, but we will get to them. I will try to make time for sure next episode.
What do you mean we don't have time? We're at 46 minutes.
Combined with all the interviews.
Yeah,
interviews aren't going into this show. Let's do some email.
How long is it going to take me to edit everything? And I don't want to edit. Like, we already have over 3 hours of audio as it is for me to edit.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
I will make sure that we work emails in on the next show.
I think this show has just had I think Ron's had just about enough of you and me as he can stand, Kyle.
That's why we need to do like 2 or 3 more emails,
No.
pound another 5 minutes into this cow.
We're wrapping.
And then we roast it to golden perfection.
We're wrapping.
As I understand it, Ron, there actually is a serious note we need to address here. And then Kyle has to come and
No, there's not. You wanted a serious note, and this is the best show for it. Fantastic. Slam dunk. Mission accomplished on the deck of the ship 8 years before the war is even considered halfway over.
We should just end it right now. Just cut. Done.
Well, since you two are incapable, I will wrap us. All right, well, we're going to wrap this up while Kyle sits there and laughs hysterically at himself because he's so self-indulged that he can't help but do it.
I'm going to mute my mic.
All right, I got to say thank you to all of our listeners. big special thanks to our military and service professionals. We appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much for your service. Come home safe. We miss you and appreciate what you do terribly.
Yes. Also,
Terribly good appreciating. That was odd phrasing. Sorry.
also thank you to Nick at sound-right.com. He is our producer. He does amazing things. Go to our webpage, click his banner at the bottom of the page, and you will see all of the crazy things he can do for you that will make your audio sound great. Also, thank you, Cindy. And I'm sorry, Cindy. I am
Cindy, I'm sorry that the things that I say, somebody didn't have, the understanding as to how jokes and sarcasm work. And so therefore my words actually got you in trouble. I apologize for that. But, let's not toss out the word hero lightly. But at the same time, once you're able to stare down your own death and be like, I am not afraid of you, and just live your life, then all of a sudden certain things, certain diseases don't worry you. And so then I can joke about them. I am obviously the hero in this scenario. And then I make the jokes. Some people, they're just essentially terrified and don't get how that is funny.
Are you proud? Are you proud of your work?
All I know is that I'm going to get hit by a bus when I'm 62, and I've come to terms with that. I'm fine. That's how I go. It's not even going to be a cool bus or anything like that. I mean, it's one thing if it's filled with nuns and there's everybody praying over you as you're dying. That's rad. That's getting in the paper. But no, it's just going to be like a metro bus or something like that. And it's going to be like, I jaywalked or something dumb trying to get after a bubblegum wrapper.
Oh, God.
So I'm not afraid of cancer is what I'm saying. And I'm sorry that people who are yelled at Cindy.
Oh, yes. I forgot that we were going to talk about that, but we won't.
Yeah.
Thanks. Did you thank the listeners already? Everybody thank the listeners, right? Okay.
Thanks, listeners.
Okay. Thank you for all you do, listeners. Lastly, on an actual serious note, I would like to dedicate the show, one, to my great-grandmother. She was actually a listener at 94 years old. She passed away last week, and she lived a very long, fulfilled life. She was perfectly fine with going at that point. She was ready 20 years ago, and so all the best, great-grandma, Mamsie, if you will. She loved the show and big supporters. So also to Leonard Nimoy, who has passed away, and I'm sad because of it. So I thought I'd dedicate the show to him. So
Live long and prosper.
Oh, he's that guy?
yeah, he's Spock, yo.
Oh, that was a Star Trek thing, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not my deal.
Yes, we are aware.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You got a guy with weird pointy ears and a stupid bowl haircut somehow influencing all of society. I'm sorry. I call that communism.
All right, we're going to have to... hey, man, look, I think the show's just about done. What do you think?
Yeah, let's everybody have a good night. Let's just do that.
Thanks,
Good night.
thanks to Tom Hanks.
Good night, everybody.
Later, y'all.
Good night.